Zadok Truman Sr.
Stay on, stay on.
My father was a particular man.
Yes, he was.
Born in 1950, he got to live across some very changing eras in the United States and in the world. And he had the reputation of being a smiler, a happy fellow.
Yes, sir.
Always knew what to say to make you feel good.
He did.
That was his trait. He was warm. He was compassionate about people.
Amen.
He was compassionate about music. And he had a gift for dealing with young men. My father was always the life in the room.
Amen.
He could light up circles of many genres, you know. Didn't matter, he was kind of like a chameleon, could fit in anywhere. And his main thing that I remember about him the most is how he felt so good if he made you feel good.
Right.
Because God had made him good. My father spent many, many years in this church, just a deacon, never seeking more than his appointed station.
Amen.
He was the best friend of my pastor, my uncle, my homie, my guy sitting over there. Him and my dad and the pastor were best friends, and I learned so much from being a part of their conversations. You know, being not always a program or a specific meeting or time, just listening to them be two guys talking about being alive, being black, being in America, being in the church. So much wisdom shared. So much that I do now today is because of my father and my uncle's conversations. Because they were so raw and so real with each other. They loved each other for that. They didn't pull any punches. They let each other know how they felt, whatever it was they was talking about.
All right.
And they weren't the same, so they didn't always agree. But my father respected the pastor.
Yes, sir.
It was his best friend, and he still called him pastor. He could have called him John. I'm sure Uncle Johnny wouldn't have minded at all. But he always called him pastor. And I always looked at that as he just wanted to make sure that he was giving the man of God honor. But it did something for the pastor as well. It never let him forget who he was.
All right.
What his job was, what his responsibility was. And so, if you think about history, there's usually somebody to remind us of who we are, where we come from. And if you know who you are and where you come from, most of the time you'll know what you're supposed to do. So today, Black History Sunday, we are remembering Zadok Truman Sr.
Amen.
Black History.